phrase is heard every summer in every part of the United States. The dirt fields, crisp white lines, and lush green outfield is where the action takes place. From the dedicated fans whooping, hollering, and to the rich smell of buttery popcorn in the warm summer air. Baseball is America's greatest pastime. For over 200 years, America has been playing baseball. Today, we'll be sliding to the history of baseball, speeding past the greatest players, and rounding the bases to the oldest stadiums. First, I will talk about the way baseball was invented. Next, I will talk about how the greatest players have changed the game. Last, I will talk about the three oldest stadiums. First, let's dive on into the history of baseball. According to History.com, Abner Doubleday, a Civil War veteran, is known as the father of baseball. Mr. Doubleday is credited with inventing the sport in a cow pasture in Cooperstown, New York in 1839. During the war, men would play the sport with the idea of limiting the players. When someone was going to catch the ball, the other players would try and knock out the man catching to eliminate him from the game. Additionally, plugging players was common. Practice by hitting a player with the ball to keep the runner from advancing. Over the years, baseball has evolved and changed to meet the needs of the sport. In 1880, we saw the addition of leather fingerless baseball gloves. However, many players felt the gloves made them less manly, so they wanted the gloves small and not as noticeable. As the sport advanced over the years, wearing gloves became more accepted and padding was added. Gloves then looked like oven mitts today. Eventually, a pocket and fingers were added in the 1920s to extend a fielder's reach. Today, the gloves are still made from leather, but tailored, made to fit each player's hand. With the advancement of technology, glove manufacturers are experimenting with new materials, such as those used in bulletproof vests to make gloves lighter and tougher. In the beginning, uniforms were merely dress clothes. In the 1880s, lace-up jerseys or ties with dress shirts were worn. In 1920, logos were appearing on the shirts. By 1950, numbers were added, and in 1960, players' names appeared across the back. In 1976, the Chicago White Sox tried to wear shorts. Today, we see all kinds of uniforms, baggy, classic, and retro. Now that I have discussed about the history of baseball, I will talk about some of the greatest players. In 1920, Babe Ruth had 714 home runs, which was the longest standing career record until 1974. Ruth had 40 home runs in 11 different years. He broke his own record 3 times. Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid, was one of the most talented baseball players baseball has ever seen. He hit 660 home runs, was an all-star for 19 straight years, and a Korean War vet. Barry Bonds was a left fielder who is known for an all-time home run record. He won 8 Golden Gloves in 9 seasons, 3 National League MVP awards, and was MVP for 4 straight years in the 2000s. Last but not least, the history of baseball stadiums. The history of baseball stadiums is Wrigley Field in 1914. Wrigley Field was built, but it was not called Wrigley Field at first. It was called Wegman Park. This park was built on the grounds of a seminary, and the first Major League game played there was on April 23rd, 1914. The first National League game took place in the park on April 20th, 1916. 1920, the Wrigley family purchased the park, and in 1926, they renamed the park Wrigley Field in honor of the owner, William Wrigley Jr. Bleachers and scoreboards were added in 1937, and in 1988, lights were installed. Today, Wrigley Field is the second oldest ballpark in the majors. Fenway Park. According to ballparksofbaseball.com, the stadium was built in 1912. Fenway's first ever game was against the Yankees. The stadium seated 27,000 people. The dimensions of the stadium were 321 feet in left field, 488 feet in center field, and 314 in right field. The most significant thing added into Fenway was a wall known as the Green Monster. The wall is 37 foot high. For 3 decades, there were few changes until after the 1975 season, a $1.5 billion electronic scoreboard was behind the bleachers in center field, and the press box was enlarged, enclosed in glass, and air conditioned. According to MLB.com, Yankee Stadium favored left-handed hitting power, with the right field pole only 295 feet from home plate, though the left field pole measures only 281 foot from home plate. Right-handed hitters were neutralized by a 390-foot left field whooping and a 460 to left center. 74,000 fans packed Yankee Stadium when Babe Ruth hit a 3-run home run to win the game against the A's. In 2008, Yankee fans broke the attendance record for the whole season with a whopping 4,298,543. The all-time Yankee Stadium attendance mark thus ends to freeze at 151,959,005. America's sport baseball is constantly evolving. From a makeshift field in the cow pasture to the several thousand seats stadium, baseball keeps getting better and better. The players are excelling, the technology is advancing, and the food is outstanding. Baseball is the definition of summertime in America. Thank you.